You might think running a retro game store is really fun and cool, and you'd be right, it is. But something that you might not consider when thinking about it is just how much stuff we deal with. Just look at all of these games that we have on the shelf ready to be purchased. And if you think that's a lot of games, just look at all the stuff we have to go through, price, and determine if it's fit to be put on the shelves. You see, we don't just buy games and immediately flip them out onto the shelf, because discs get scuffed. Cartridge games sometimes just give out. In the end, this is retro tech. This stuff really wasn't designed to last this long. So what do we do to make sure games that look like this or this don't get out on the shelves? What happened to this? Is someone stomp on it? Looks like someone sat on it. Well, first we, or Tyler, goes through all of the games that we buy. We have this tub here. This tub is also filled with games. And all of these tubs are just filled with games. We also have all of this stuff here because we are drowning in video games. So yeah, we go through every single game by hand. We go through every single game by hand to make sure that the disc isn't horribly scratched, that the case isn't falling apart, or that the cartridge hasn't been stomped on, apparently. If the disc is in good shape and the case looks good, we'll price it and put it out for sale. But what do we do if it doesn't look good? The sad reality is that most of these games have been sitting in someone's basement, attic, or loose discs strewn across the home entertainment center. So sometimes the discs look like they've been dragged across the driveway. What do we do then? What do we do then, Tyler?
We polish them.
We polish them.
Welcome aboard.
We have two of these puppies. Now these are industrial disc polishers. You can see we've got all these tubes of compound as well as just all the distilled water and nonsense that you're gonna need to keep these things running. So what you can do is fill one of these with 50 loose discs that need to be polished, click a button, let it run all day, and at the end of it, you have 50 pristine polished discs to put back in their cases. Since we have two of these, we can run 100 discs at a time. These are really neat little robots that do the work for you. There's all sorts of inner workings here that I don't necessarily understand. You just fill this side up with 50 loose discs, and a little robot grabs a disc, brings it in here, runs it through the multiple different pads and different sort of grits of sandpaper, using the compound to fill those scratches, and then they come out looking beautiful. And as you can see, these are all games that need to be polished. All of these long comic book boxes are filled to the brim with scratched up games. Let's look at all these. Fable, Halo, Aliens, Colonial Marines. The sacred texts. Oh my god, My Sims Agents for the Wii. I absolutely loved this game as a kid. More people should play it. Rip Game Swap. I miss you. So once the games are processed by our robot friends here, they go back out to the floor. So after the games are polished and made sure they're looking good, they go in our system. So even though these aren't discs, they're just Game Boy Advance games that get popped into a DS or a Game Boy Advance to make sure that they work. After they're all good to go, they come out here, they get put into our system, priced, and we print out these fancy little labels for them. It's a hell of a journey all these little games go on, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And the final step is to come home with you. It's a hell of a system that we run on here, and honestly, it's really complicated and leaves a large margin of error. But we do it all in the name of making sure that the games that we put out on the shelves are good for you guys. And yeah, we understand things slip through the cracks. So we have our 15-day warranty in the event something just doesn't work for you. Here at Nostalgic, we understand that buying used technology in video games isn't a perfect science, but it's something that all of us here love. In fact, we make a living on it. And at the end of the day, even when there's so much work to be done, I'm still surrounded by video games.